He looked at the woman. What had made him stop her? Something was wrong with her, that much was clear, but what did it matter to him? He had already seen plenty of women with whom something was wrong, particularly at night, particularly in Paris, and it made no difference to him now, and all he wanted was a few hours' sleep. "Go home," he said. "What are you doing on the streets at this hour? You'll only get into trouble." He turned up the collar of his coat and was about to walk away. The woman looked at him as though she did not understand. "Home?" she repeated. Ravic shrugged his shoulders. "Home. Back to your apartment, to your hotel. Call it what you like. Somewhere. You don't want to be picked up by the police." "To the hotel? My God," the woman said. Ravic paused. Once more someone who does not know where to go, he thought. He could have foreseen it. It was always the same. At night they did not know where to go, and the next morning they were gone before you were awake. Then they knew where to go. The old cheap desperation that came with the dark and left with it. He threw his cigarette away, as if he himself did not know it, and know it to the point of weariness. "Come, let's go somewhere and have a drink," he said. It was the simplest solution. Afterwards he could pay and leave, and she could decide what to do. The woman made an uncertain movement and stumbled. Ravic caught hold of her arm. "Tired?" he asked. "I don't know. I guess so." "Too tired to sleep?" She nodded. "That can happen. Come along, I'll hold on to you." They walked up the Avenue Marceau. Ravic felt the woman leaning on him. She did not lean as if she were tired. She leaned as if she were about to fall and had to support herself. They crossed the Avenue Pierre Ier de Serbie. Behind the intersection of the Rue de Chaillot, the street opened up, and, floating and dark in the distance, the mass of the Arc de Triomphe emerged out of the rainy sky. Ravic pointed to the narrow, lighted entrance of a cellar drinking place. "In here. We'll still be able to get something." It was a bistro frequented by drivers. A few cab drivers and 2 whores were sitting inside. The drivers were playing cards. The whores were drinking absinthe. With a quick glance they took stock of the woman. Then they turned indifferently away. The older one yawned audibly. The other began lackadaisically making up her face. In the background, a busboy, with the face of a weary rat, sprinkled sawdust around and began to sweep the floor. Ravic and the woman sat down at a table near the entrance. It was more convenient. He could then leave more easily. He did not remove his coat. "What do you want to drink?" he asked. "I don't know. Anything at all." "2 Calvados," Ravic said to the waiter, who was in vest and rolled-up shirt-sleeves. "And a package of Chesterfields." "Haven't any," the waiter announced. "Only French." "Well then, a pack of Laurent Green." "We don't have any green, either. Only blue." Ravic looked at the waiter's arm, on which was tattooed a naked woman walking on clouds. The waiter, following his glance, clenched his fist and made his muscles jump. The woman on the clouds wriggled her belly lasciviously. "All right, blue," Ravic said. The waiter grinned. "Maybe we still have 1 green left." He shuffled off. Ravic's eyes followed him. "Red slippers on his feet," he said, "and a Nautch girl on his arm. He must have served in the Turkish Navy." The woman put her hands on the table. She did it as if she never wanted to lift them again. Her hands had been well cared for, but that meant nothing. Still, they were not too well cared for. Ravic saw that the nail of the right middle finger was broken. It seemed to have been torn off without having been filed. In some places the polish was chipped. The waiter brought the glasses and a package of cigarettes. "Laurent Green. Found one after all." "I thought you would. Were you in the Navy?" "No. Circus." "Better still." Ravic handed a glass to the woman. "Here, drink this. It's the best thing at this hour. Or would you like coffee?" "No." "Drink it all at once." The woman nodded and emptied the glass. Ravic studied her. She had a colourless face, almost without expression. The mouth was full but pale, the contours appeared blurred. Only the hair was very beautiful. of a lustrous natural blonde. She wore a Basque beret, and under her raincoat a blue tailored suit. The suit had been made by a good tailor, but the green stone in the ring on her hand was much too big to be real. "Do you want another?" Ravic asked. She nodded. He beckoned the waiter. "2 more Calvados, but bigger glasses." "Bigger glasses? More in them, too?" "Yes." "That would be 2 double Calvados." "You've guessed it." Ravic decided to finish his drink quickly and leave. He was bored and very tired. Generally, he was patient with such incidents. He had more than 40 years of eventful living behind him, but he was only too well acquainted with situations like this. He had lived in Paris for a number of years and not been able to sleep much at night. Then one saw a lot on the way. The waiter brought the drinks. Ravic took the penetrating and aromatic-smelling apple brandy and placed it carefully in front of the woman. "Drink this, too. It doesn't help much, but it warms you up. And whatever's the matter, don't take it too hard. There's nothing that remains serious for long." The woman looked at him. She did not drink. "It's true," Ravic said, "particularly at night. Night exaggerates." The woman still stared at him. "You don't have to comfort me," she said. "All the better." Ravic looked around for the waiter. He had had enough. He knew this type, probably Russian, he thought. The minute they sit down somewhere while they're still wet, they become arrogant. "Are you Russian?" he asked. "No." Ravic paid and rose to say goodbye. At the same moment the woman got up too. She did it silently and naturally. Ravic looked at her uncertainly. "All right," he thought then. "I can do it just as well outside." It had begun to rain. Ravic stopped in front of the door. "Which way are you going?" He was determined to take the opposite direction. "I don't know. Somewhere." "But where do you live?" The woman made a quick movement. "I can't go there. No, I can't do that. Not there." Suddenly her eyes were full of a wild fear. She has quarrelled, Ravic thought, has had some sort of row and has run away. By tomorrow noon she will have thought it over and will go back. "Well, don't you know anyone to whom you could go? An acquaintance? You could call them up from the bistro." "No, there's nobody." "But you must go somewhere. Haven't you any money for a room?" "I have." "Then go to a hotel. There are lots of them in the side streets." The woman did not answer. "You must go somewhere," Ravic said impatiently. "You can't stay in the streets in this rain." The woman drew her raincoat tighter around her. "You are right," she said, as though she had suddenly come to a decision. "You are quite right. Thanks. Don't trouble about me any more. I'll find a place all right. Thank you." With one hand she pulled the collar of her coat together. "Thank you for everything." She glanced up at Ravic with an expression of misery and tried unsuccessfully to smile. Then she walked away through the misty rain unhesitatingly and with soundless steps. Ravic stood still for a moment. "Damn it," he grumbled, surprised and irresolute. He did not know how it happened or what it was, the hopeless smile or the look or the empty street or the night. He knew only that he could not let this woman go alone through the mist, this woman who suddenly looked like a lost child. He followed her. "Come with me," he said gruffly. "We'll find something for you." They reached the Étoile. The square before them lay in a drizzling greyness, huge and unbounded. The mist was thicker now, and one could no longer see the streets that branched off. There was only the broad square with the scattered dim moons of the street lamps, and with the monumental stone arch which receded into the mist as though it would prop up the melancholy sky and protect beneath itself the faint, lonely flame on the tomb of the unknown soldier, which looked like the last grave of mankind in the midst of night and loneliness. They walked across the square. Ravic walked fast. He was too tired to think. Beside him he heard the soft, pattering steps of the woman following him silently, with head bent, hands hidden in the pockets of her coat, a small, alien flame of life. And suddenly, in the late loneliness of the square, strangely she seemed to belong to him for a moment, although he did not know anything about her, or just for